And I pray to God that your return and my return will be equally as safe. I do a lot of speaking around the country, and most of my audience is white folks. So let me say now what I say to them. When you hear me talking about God, I'm not talking about most of them isms and osms that y'all be talking about. And I'm not talking about a God that needs your validation. And I tell white folks that I hope I don't do anything to make white folks mad at me, because the white folks I be talking about, see, I advocated ain't but about 5 white folks on the whole planet. And the rest of them is imposters. See, understand, white had nothing to do with a color. White is an attitude. And if you ain't got some big billions of bucks in the bank, you can't have the attitude. And you know, God is so good. All you have to do is just listen and just look. You don't need no degree or know how to read or write. I mean, here, and one thing, black folks, that's why I love this brother, and I spent time with he and Kathy in Africa, because you just don't have to go through all of the crazy, you know, you can just sit and relate and nod your head and cut short and all this, and because most black folks, they so busy reacting. I look at the way people react to Jesse, but I don't see the same reaction to Donald Trump. Every camera get around, Donald Trump jump in front of it. And everybody admire him. And Jesse done jumped in front of enough cameras long enough that he's one of 6 recognizable black men on the planet. What's wrong with that? Always when it comes my turn, I got to hear something from you that I don't hear from nobody else. And so when you sit and think about where this thing is going and how important you are. And when I think about Malcolm, and I think about New York City, and I think about this whole world and this whole planet. Matter of fact, I got off the plane yesterday. I was glad to get to New York City. I mean, I'm so glad. I just left Memphis where they had 57 tornadoes. And they didn't inform us about it until the plane took off. And I said to the white folks on the plane, that's why y'all need to check out Greyhound. Ain't nowhere in the world. Now, you know, when you're talking about the airport, we talking about white folks. When you're talking about Greyhound, you talking about us. And there's nowhere in the world Greyhound would dare drive that bus through a storm, because we wouldn't. Greyhound would tell you between here and D.C. there's a hell of a storm. Y'all still want to go? So I got off the plane yesterday, and the first thing I did, I read me about $150 worth of newspapers every week to find out what they're doing. And here's y'all's headlines in the New York paper. There's some numbers there. 7,700,000,000 to 1. Now they thought they was talking about O.J. These is the odds of a black person getting a cab in downtown Manhattan. Okay. All right. And you see, that's what I like. New York is the great neutralizer. See, whenever black folk get out there and they think they ain't black. See, Clarence Thomas, I don't have to humbug with him. I just say, go to New York, nigga, see if you can get a cab. Since white folk love you so much. All y'all think the system's okay. Go to New York. You go to New York with your mama and let her have a stroke and see if you can get to the hospital in a cab. New York's the neutralizer. And then I must say that I'm happy to be here for some ulterior motive reasons. I got this cousin in St. Louis. He sold the He reads New York Times every morning. But he cool. He threw everything away in the New York Times except the business section. And he's so depressed when he picked up yesterday's paper. And it said the Dow plummeted 81 .96 points. And I just keep asking him, I said, why are you depressed? And he was just all shook up. He couldn't talk. So I talked to his mother. I said, why is the boy depressed over the stock market? He ain't got no stock. He don't even know how to spell it. He said, the boy always get depressed when black folks have problems. I said, what do you mean black folks have problems? This boy's so ignorant, he think Dow Jones is a brother. In all honesty, I got to say, you know, part of it, because, you know, when the stock market caved in a couple of years ago, they called it Black Monday. And then what I don't understand, I mean, y'all had some crazy stuff come out here in the last 10 days. Y'all got a 17-year-old that's a doctor. And bless his little heart. And I sure hope he can make him some money, but he sure could not make no money with me. I ain't going no place when I'm sick where a chump blowing bubble gum and think what's wrong with me, I ain't had enough jelly beans. I'm coming in there telling him I got one of these migraine headaches, and he want to know, do I want to go to Disneyland with him? Of course, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. At least he's alive. I mean, I had a news guy ask me the other day, said, you know, Mr. Gregory, you've been fasting and praying for like 30 years. What do your doctor think about it? My doctor been dead 27 years. And then y'all had this strange thing here, made all the front page of the papers, even made the national news about this school teacher and ran off with this 15-year-old girl. And I got upset when I read it, because when I read the story last week, this is a story about something happened 4 months ago. I mean, are they just finding out? They gone? And you know, I'm 63 years old, and I just kind of wonder, what a 15-year-old girl sexually doing today that they wasn't doing when I was in school? Because I don't know nobody blow their gig over a 15-year-old, you know, but maybe something happened different. I don't know. But I remember the time, they act like this is the first time a teacher having sex with a pupil. They've always, ever since I've known it, but they never leave town with them. It's give them an A. And then the school system here act like they didn't know nothing about it. All you got to do is anytime you check the records and find out that him and her had both perfect attendance records, you should have known something was going on. Somewhere. And everybody said, well, he's going to lose his job. What do you mean lose? He don't care. School systems ain't got no money all over the world. All he got to do is advertise, hire me, and get 2 for 1. Driver's ed and sex education in the same car. Somewhere. Somewhere I say to you today, I'm so glad the weekend to get away from that OJ trial. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm hooked to it. As a matter of fact, it messed my mind. I was looking at it the other day, and they damn near convinced me I did it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I told my wife, find them gloves. Somewhere. They had everybody watching that trial. The biggest trial that ever happened was the one that happened in New York, Long Island. Ferguson. Oh, that was a trial. And let me tell you something, family. Anytime you got a black man in this America, especially New York, that's accused of killing 6 white folks and injured 19, and they let him, before worldwide cameras, humiliate them white folks, they hiding something. You don't even need to be smart to figure that out. I mean, they let him be his own lawyer, and I'll be honest, they was clever. I mean, if you look at the time, they took Vernon Mason's license away from him and gave him to Ferguson. See here. Oh, yeah, the boy had license. Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's right. They took Vernon's license. Boy, we're not going to let you humiliate these white folks and they got no license. Take this. And the boy worked out. I mean, I mean, that boy stood there and defended Ferguson like he was defending somebody else. And what I liked about the trial, they didn't have all them old sidebars like they do out there in California. And this judge, they said what you want to say, this judge was cool. He just sit there. He didn't move. A couple times I thought he had a stroke. He just sit there and looked around. He didn't object to nothing. The only time I saw that judge and the rest of the white folks move is when the prosecutor came in and he said, Your Honor, I want to introduce Exhibit A. This is the 9mm that he used. And Ferguson said, would you bring it a little closer to me? And everybody got out of there. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine? I mean, did you see him talking to them white folks? And you know, and when white folk love you, they love you. I mean, he said that he got on the train, he had the gun in a bag, he went to sleep. So a white dude came and took the gun out and shot them people and put it back. And to this day, the press haven't asked him, if you was asleep, how'd you know it was a white dude? He said to this one white woman who had been shot, he said, are you saying that my client, Mr. Ferguson, shot you? And she said, no, I'm saying you shot me. He said, now you're saying it's two people, huh? He humiliated this one white dude so bad. And that's a little confusion. Here's a dude that shot you and he's standing there defending somebody who you think shot you. I mean, it's bad enough to be shot. He looked at this one white dude and he said, now that I've cross-examined you, look at my client. Do you still believe that he's the man that shot you? That white boy said, before I came in here, I just knew that he shot me, but you messed me up so bad, I'm not even sure I was on the train that day. Anyway. Now, let me just say this. That you got brothers and sisters in this country that is so brilliant. America don't have no respect for that. But you have to listen to that God force. I mean, the same year that white folk come out with the bell curve, they come out with the Gump movie. The dumbest white boy in the history of being dumb. This white boy so dumb, he want to commit suicide, he jump in front of a parked car. And I don't even understand why black folks even get into those debates. You know how smart you are. You know nobody in the history of this planet have gone through what we've gone through and survived. Who am I? Simple. Here's a man that was so vicious and mean. Listen to me. During slavery, he murdered me, took an axe and chopped me in little bitty pieces and cooked me, raped my whole family. Nothing could happen to him, but if they caught that same white boy trying to teach me how to read and write, he would go to jail.
Sad, brother, but it's true.
And with all of that going against me, they don't have a book at Harvard, Yale, or MIT that I can't read from cover to back, my family and most of my friends. So it didn't work. With laws against not just me, but white folks, if you caught around them with a book, In all the institutions in the world, I can go there and do well. You talk about a bell curve. When the IQ test first came out, white women scored higher than white men. So they brought it back in and reworked it. Today in America, northern blacks score higher than southern whites. So what does that mean? We're going to write a book? Yeah, you redneck southern crackers, we smarter than you. Because we make a higher test score in the north than you make. And white folks say, yeah, nigga, you might be smarter than me, but you better not never come south. The games they play. Now they're attacking welfare. I was on welfare. Born on welfare. What they won't tell you, and see, you got to stop listening to the people who resent you giving you stats. What they won't tell you is 80% of every welfare and a mother have never produced a child that was on welfare. Welfare mothers have 1.8 babies per mother. Married women have 5.9. My wife have 10, so it's obvious who likes to do. Now I have a serious problem with most welfare mothers because I don't understand how somebody can mess your mind up so bad you ashamed of free money. And I wish I could take all you Americans and let y'all vote today on welfare. Are we going to have it or are we not? And all I would do, I wouldn't let y'all vote because I know you. I read you the United States Constitution. I read you the Bill of Rights. And I'd make sure that you understand there's nothing in the Constitution or the Bill of Rights that say you have a right to write off the interest on your mortgage. That is not no law. That is not no birthright. That's welfare. So now, are we going to do away with all welfare? Let's vote on it. We're going to do away with this welfare where the folk go out tonight and spend $400-500 per person per meal with all the whiskey and alcohol, then write off as a business expense. We're going to take one vote. We're either going to have welfare or we not. Then you get a different vote then. But I normally, when I'm not around black folks, I tend to speak for black folks because white folks, they believe that black folk listen to me. Now, they don't know y'all don't. But they really believe y'all listen to me. And so I tell white folks when I'm around them by themselves that I speak for all black folks. So we're going to cut through the debate. I'm admitting to you that all black folks is on welfare. Now, there's no more debate. Now, white folks, I got a small problem with y'all because y'all tell me these white boys is getting angry now because of affirmative action and black folks is taking their jobs. Now, white folks, I'm not going to let you have it both ways. Either I'm on welfare or either I'm working, but I'm not going to be both of them. I mean, here's some white folks mad because I'm on welfare. Here's another group mad because I got their job. Pick one or the other. My brother, I come to you today and say to you that how much I love you. And that's what this is about. And that's what this brother Al is about. And you look at the struggle. I look at my brother Mason and I see what you've been through. And I don't have no problem with it because one thing about choosing to be in this movement, you have to be willing to penalize yourself and your family. That goes with it. That goes with it. They just took your license. They took Malcolm's life. Man, if God bless you. I mean, after they knocked you down, you still had life in you that you can get. See, they shoot at all of us. Some they miss, some they hit. You brothers, y'all been out there been a target for a long time. But it don't stop there. They get the family. They got little things. They put little things in little mice and rats and dogs and horses, little microchips, and control them from time they're born to time they die. They do the same thing with people. Y'all got hospitals here in New York. I ain't talking about just black folk. Babies are born and they put a microchip up their rectum, and that baby, they can control the attitude and behavior. At McVeer, that boy they arrested there in Oklahoma, all his friends said he'd been complaining about they put a microchip up his rectum when he was over there in the Middle East fighting. That's a game they play. But I say to those of us in this movement who have suffered, that goes with the territory. It is so easy to behave yourself, especially when you've been to college, especially when you got a degree, especially when you got talent. But can you walk out here and defy this filth and do what God wants you to do? Because where you go, your license won't be taken from you. It won't ask you what color you are, how old are you, where you live, who was you married to, how much money. There's one legend old boss gonna pull out, and it just says, how much service did you give to your brother, sister, human beings when you was on my planet? How much service? How much service? And you be in good company. The president of the American Bar Association won't be with you, son. No, no. Now, all these big high-fluting law firms that sit back and manipulate $750 an hour they make, that's a retainer. They won't be with you when they get to the real ledger. I'm talking about a ledger that Chase Manhattan have nothing to do with. I'm talking about the real ledger. And so when I think about my brother Malcolm, I think about this little thing that just happened with his daughter, and I'll be honest with you. I got 10 children, 7 girls, 3 boys. If I thought I had a child that thought somebody killed me and wanted to avenge it and waited 30 years, I sure enough would have attitude. I mean, you can give that chump time to die from natural causes. I mean, girl, do you love me or not? But listen what they told us. They told us that Malcolm X's daughter, see, I don't deal in friendship. Did she do it or not? I deal in logics. Here's a woman here in New York City. She decides she's going to kill Farrakhan. She leaves New York where all the murderers are. They got people that'll kill somebody you just to practice because they know they're going to kill somebody on July the 4th. They just want to practice. She leaves New York, all the murderers, and goes to Minnesota where they ain't even had a drive-by shoot. Think about it. Go ahead. To hire a white boy to kill one of the most guarded brothers. A white boy. Yeah. We don't even have to deal with that. I knew Malcolm. I loved Malcolm. Malcolm called me the Sunday that he died. I was working Basin Street East. He said, Brother Greg, you coming by today? And I said, Malcolm, I love you. And I said, I love you so much, I don't even want to take a chance to be there. He said, what do you mean, Brother Greg? I said, well, I close tonight, Sunday night at Basin Street East. And I said, but I had my wife book me a flight into Chicago at 8 o'clock this morning, and I'm going to Chicago, and I had way beneath my salary booked me into a college about 10 miles from the airport. And I'm going to go there and speak this afternoon, and I'm going to stay there until they tell me you dead. Because I'm not going to let this government get 2 of us for the price of 1. And I'm going to call Adam Clayton Powell when I finish talking to you and beg him not to come there. Because today, the United States government is going to get you. Okay. And I'm not going to be there. I love you. I don't even want to take a chance of my heart changing. So I went to Chicago. And when they came and they told me Malcolm's been killed today, I got back on the plane and came back here. Malcolm was killed because of another brother named DePinto. A lot of people thought he was African, but he was East Indian. He was born in Nairobi. He's the one that changed Malcolm's head from black nationalist to Pan-Africanism and made that connection from here to there. And the government said, we can't let this happen. He's the one that persuaded Malcolm when he went to African stage 7 weeks and met with all the real leaders. And then he's the one that discussed with Malcolm of bringing racism to the doorsteps of the UN. And as Malcolm was being shot dead in New York City, DePinto was being gunned down in Nairobi. All right. Same time. All right? Same time.
That's a fact.
So don't tell me about no black Muslims.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
The same time. Same time.
Yes.
Malcolm was being gunned down. Now, let me finish this by saying this. And you folks out there on radio, when we cut off, that's why you should be here. Yeah, y'all come on down. Yeah. We'll be here. If we're not, you know, if you get here late, we'll be here next week. Just wait on us. You ain't got nothing to do. Nothing to do. Now, let me show you how this white racist system treats black folks. The black folks that they got to kill Malcolm, Malcolm was standing on a stage like I am. They threw a smoke bomb in the back. When everybody got to watching the commotion, the brothers ran up with double-barrel shotguns and shot him. But under the Freedom of Information Act, we were able to get the autopsy of Malcolm, and all the bullets in Malcolm is going down. Now, I can't stand on this stage and y'all down there pointing up, which means the government has such a low view of those black folks that would do it. They didn't even give them real bullets. They gave them blanks. And Malcolm was shot from the ceiling top. And also under the Freedom of Information, the CIA have been forced to admit that they rented the Audubon Ballroom a week before. And that's when they went in there and tore them walls out and put them guns in the wall and shot him from a downward projection. That's what this game is about. But Malcolm lived a good life.
Yes, he did.
The movie did not portray that.
Of course not.
The movie was an insult.
Yes.
I mean, here my man get killed, ain't got no insurance, no money. Betty pregnant with twins, got 4 kids, and then have 2 more, and then go ahead and raise them and go on and get her a doctor's degree. And in that old heathen movie, they ain't got room in that to tell me about what Betty did. But can show Malcolm snorting coke and having sex with a white woman in a car. This is a black person that did that. And then show Malcolm putting his head in a toilet. Now that's in the book, page 122. Malcolm has never put his head in a toilet. So if that shows up in the book, the conspiracy goes all the way back to Alex, who didn't write Malcolm, nor did he write Roots. A white boy, the senior editor of Playboy magazine, Murray Fisher, wrote both them books. And as we stand here now, them 2 books makes about $7 to $8 million royalty right now every year.
What you say?
Then how come when Alex died, they had to auction off his stuff to pay off his bills? How come they didn't attach his royalties? Because he don't get no royalties.
Well, don't you say?
That's the game.
Teach.
All right?
Teach.
The whole book's a lie. And if you look at Roots and go get your federal documents, in federal court, a white boy by the name of Harry Colander that wrote The African in 1967, the court documents show that federal judge made All of them pay him $750,000, and in the records they chastise him, saying not only did you lift it out the book, you didn't even change one word. And then a white boy from England named John Rollison, that same judge made them pay him $150,000 because Kunta Kinte came out of his book. And then our sister Walker, who wrote the Alex Jubilee, they threw her case out. And I knew that they could never release the movie until they killed Alex. And Alex Haley reviewed the movie 1 week and fell dead walking through the airport the next week. So y'all going out there and play your game for this filthy, slimy, degenerate system if you want to. And all of you white folks are so upset about this American, where it's going, they'll kill you on the way to get me. And all y'all like to play them right-wing, left-wing games. Well, this is my right hand and I'm moving these fingers. This is a right movement. This is my left hand, I'm moving these fingers. But the right hand don't move these fingers and the left hand don't move these fingers. These fingers is moved from this brain which is in the center. It's neither left nor right. And that's the same thing that's going on in this country today. You got a bunch of evil, old, dirty, nasty old white men that's in the center that manipulates both sides, pit this one against this one and this one against this one. What's that game about?
No, you're not. Go ahead. Go ahead. You got it.
And what they fixing to do to the right wing now is what they did to the left wing in the 50s. If that boy blew up that building in Oklahoma, me and my mama blew it up. And if you stupid enough to believe that you're going to take some fertilizer, which ain't nothing but some cow doo-doo. If you think you can take some cow doo-doo and blow up half a town, you crazy. And if you're silly enough to believe you can put a bomb outside a building and tear it up inside, you crazy. There was 2 bombs that went off. And we know this because all you have to do is look at the Richter scale records that came out of the University of Oklahoma, run by a department head named Charlie Minkins. And when you look at the Richter scale, it shows that one bomb went off at 902.4 and another one went off at 902.14. So y'all go on and play your games if you want to. You stupid enough to believe that this white boy would blow up the biggest explosion in the history of America and get caught because he didn't have a license plate on the back of his car. People who ain't even got cars can get a license plate. And let's play it straight for a minute. He's driving down the highway. He just blew up this whole thing. He's getting away. A cop pulled him over. One cop, he got a loaded pistol. When you pull me over, I got to believe you pulled him over for what I just did. I come out blazing. Why didn't he? The boy's a patsy. This is the game they play. And so I say to you today, Bush found it out. Somebody told him. That's why Bush got out the National Rifle. They're going to roll on. And Rush Limbaugh will be lucky if he got his show 90 days from now. And that whole religious right, they don't need them no more, and they're fixing to close them down. They already let the story out on Graham. Phil Graham. Phil Graham. Now listen now. Phil Graham, raised on welfare. You know the story? Y'all know the story? Daddy died. Little boy. One government check after another. Now, the boy got $11 million. He got more money than any candidate, and nobody asked where this little old poor white boy that ain't inherited nothing get that money. It came from the Texas ripoff of the savings and loans, and he kept putting laws together to protect them. Like y'all senator here, D'Amato and Robert Dole, they should be on their way to jail because when they busted the NutraSweet company here last month, they found out they gave them 2 thugs millions of dollars to keep the law so they could keep NutraSweet out here on the market, knowing it caused cancer. And these are the chump punks that's talking about family value. And when I hear you black folk talking about fam, you've had the good old days when the family was the family. When was that? When was the black family the black family? When white folk could just come in the house and lynch any nigga in the family they wanted, and one of the damn thing you would do was say, well, thank God they didn't get all of us. Was that the family y'all talking about? The family when you could go to World War II and the same German that killed your daddy can come to America and live and work where your daddy can't work. That's the black family you talking about. You talking about back when the black family was the black family, when black American soldiers was coming back bringing those Germans to the POW camps, and they'd let them white murdering Germans go into the front of the restaurant and sit down and eat like men, but them niggas had to stand outside and have their food pitched to them. Is that the black family you talking about? Well, God don't never let me go back to them heathens. Never. 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 That's the black family. And what white family they talking about? The same white folks that sit around and watch it happen? That's the family? No, you're looking at the family now. Here's the black family. This is the black family. Don't turn on television and let somebody tell you who we are. Oh, we was over there, the synagogue went to Gregory Island, where they loaded the slaves. That's part of it. See, you got to listen to what they be telling you. Black folk that can't even spell Africa know about the Egyptians. Why they give us the Egyptians? Because those is the lightest Africans on the continent of Africa. It's about a not black thing. So everybody walk around talking about the Egyptians did this, the Egyptians did that. When you think of Egyptian, you don't see nobody look like you. Egypt was the bowels. The Nile was the bowels. When you go up to Central Africa where that true glory began, that's where the power is, but don't nobody want to talk about that. They want to talk about the slaves that came over here, but you miss it because the Belgians and the Dutch were sending slaves from the Horn of Africa to other parts of the world. The Horn of Africa. And the reason that's important, because all hurricanes that hit over here starts at the Horn of Africa, at the furthest tip where they loaded my spirit on the ship. And those hurricanes stay under the water and follow the same trail that the slave ship followed. And no hurricane jumps out the water till it gets to the Caribbean. That's where they offload the slaves. And then it comes all the way up this east coast, all the way to Maine, and Canada's right across the street from Maine. But Canada's never had a hurricane because Canada's never had a slave. Tell me about my spirit. All right? Tell me about my spirit. And you gonna mess with that? Huh? I mean, do you know who I am? You gonna tell me about black on black crime? If I take y'all to China today, who you think killing Chinese in China? And then we go to Italy this afternoon, who you think killing Italians in Italy? 98% of all white folks that got murdered in America last year was murdered by white folks. How come they not talking about white on white crime? And all y'all that's upset over black on black crime, then why don't y'all work to integrate? Because the funny thing about crime, you kill where you live. I mean, if y'all don't want me to kill you, when my old lady make me mad, I'm going to kill somebody. Then see to it I'm living out in the white suburbs, because when my old lady make me mad and I'm going to kill somebody, I ain't going to get in my car and come all the way in the ghetto and shoot you. I'm going to shoot my neighbor. So I'm saying to y'all now, thank God for welfare. Did you see that white boy did in San Diego? Yeah. Yesterday? See, that's that white boy that done badmouth welfare. Now he needed. Oh, it was a sad story. They repossessed his house, cut his lights off, cut his water off that morning, and he can't go to no agency because he done badmouthed them. And listen to me, y'all need to go back and read that story, because ain't none of us safe. That white boy went to where his old buddies hang out and stole him a tank and tore up everything. Wrecked 40 cars, tore down telephone poles, utility poles, and then he got hung up somewhere on the highway, and they went and took a torch and cut in that, and the boy kind of got away, and they killed him because they said they thought he was going to smash some more cars. It's about a property thing. And if the insurance companies can figure out how much money he costs in one day, you could support 20 welfare mothers for life. So maybe they better start encouraging white boys to get on welfare than grab a tank because your bills ain't paid. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm like Don King. I love America for different reasons. I ain't gonna lie. Where else can you live like this? You can live like this any place on the planet that's stupid enough to function on 85% credit. That's why we love America, because 85% of everything you got, you ain't paid for. That's right. And you can't do that nowhere on this planet but here. And thank God I'm hip enough, I don't even worry about that. I mean, they looked at my birthmarks. I came from a little old town where black folk was strange. They look at birthmarks and could tell where you was going. I was 3 years old. They looked at this birthmark here and they said, we don't know what it is. So they sent down, got them real witches from South Carolina. They came there, they said, we don't know what that is. So they sent for the high priest of witches in Louisiana. Him and his wife came and said, we don't know what that is. They had to go all the way to Haiti to get the real hoodoo. And they came there, I'm 3 years old, and everybody getting back, because everybody getting scared now. What is this here? Can't nobody read. And they came in there from Haiti and looked there and said, oh, that ain't nothing. Just said the boy need a cosigner for the rest of his life. Said the boy will need a cosigner. That's all. That's all. The boy will need a cosigner. Rest of his life. Now, don't nobody in this room have no more debt than me. The difference, I don't worry about mine. That house you got, that ain't your house. It belongs to the bank. You the caretaker. And one day when y'all got some sense, you go down to the bank and tell them, say, your windows is dirty when y'all send somebody out to wash it.
All right, now. No, you're right. Go ahead.
That ain't your house. Go home and look at that deed right down there. You know, lawyer, it said they can call it in anytime they want it. Them Japanese thought they owned Rockefeller Center. Yeah, they just called it in last week. I remember the Internal Revenue said, well, you know, you're behind on your taxes. We're gonna lean on your house. And you lean on the house, you lean on the note. Yeah. So I didn't pay no more notes. Yeah, you gonna lean on my house, you lean on the note. Why y'all like to possess stuff that's not yours? Why y'all want to lack stuff that somebody can take? Debt? Credit card folk call the house. Talking about, I owe them $800,000. I laughed. My wife said, what you laughing about? I said, they knew when I was taking out that card I wasn't going to pay for it. They knew that. I mean, I ain't paid for the last card I had. Then they're going to try to appeal to my Negroism. Well, you know, guy, we thought because you're involved with the civil rights movement and when your integrity, we thought that, and now I'm here at your house and I'm just outraged. You got this 400-acre farm and that Rolls Royce sitting out there. How can you have all this stuff and not pay us? I said, well, if it make you feel any better, I'm not paying on the farm nor the Rolls Royce. fact, they was here an hour ago. And I just asked them to leave because I just wanted to talk to you one-on-one. How y'all be upset over debt? Most of that old stuff you got, you don't know where it is. And you ought to just thank God. Y'all be praying to God, well, how can I pay? Just thank God, I thank you. You let me trick some more of them. And then have nerve enough to call my house after everything else don't work. Then the nice guy calls. Hi there, guy. When can we expect another payment? I said, well, I have no control over your expectations. Whatever make you feel good, put it down. But now if you're talking about when you're going to get another payment, oh, why don't you call me back sometime around 1999? Then they get evil. See, I got one of them. You know them credit cards y'all got them expiration date? No, I got the real ones for life. That's what they're trying to call in. Well, look here, guy. Would you cut up? Everybody told you to cut your credit card up and mail it back. I said, you got to be some kind of fool. I know, even if I paid y'all, I ain't gonna never get another one. You would never give me another card, so I'm keeping this one. Yeah, I'm keeping it. You know what the guy said? Well, it ain't no good. The computers already got you shut off. Well, you might be right, but I tell you what. I test this old card every 90 days, and Lord bless you if I ever catch your computers down. So, do you know? So you don't have to, and sisters, please get with the brothers and teach them about that debt. You don't have to get, because they ain't going up nobody's head but yours. They come home mad, a white racist system, they ain't going to do nothing about it. That's why if I was a black sister and I was married to a dude that loved me and I had a little control of him, I'd make him be with this movement because he can get rid of his frustrations. Y'all be married to these black men that go around and be humiliated by a white racist system every day. They're going to come on and go upside your head. They ain't going to say nothing. I mean, you cook him the best apple cobbler you ever cooked. He ain't mad at you. Say, how you like it there? I'm eating it, ain't I? And that's affection. Yeah. And you young black women, you know, don't let these old sisters get y'all in trouble. The girl, when I was, here's some old 90-year-old black woman, been whooped so bad she didn't forgot about ever been hit. Telling you, girl, I remember, Hank never would do that to me. She don't tell you the sheriff shot Hank in the eyes trying to stab her to death. These old black sisters be lying to you young girls. Listen, all that old stuff, look, all you old sisters, that stuff don't work on these young black boys. Roll your eyes and put your hand on your hips and, girl, no. Sisters, if this young chump walk in with his fist balled up, talking about hitting you, and you sitting there making some biscuits, all you got to do to him is just make like you talking to somebody else in that room that ain't there. Hey, girl, I don't know who this nigga talking to, and all at once he gonna look. And you just keep talking. Yeah, he coming in making that noise, this fist ball, like he ain't planning on going to sleep in this house. Like can't nobody cut nobody's penis off for the white woman. Girl, he walking in here acting a fool. I'm sitting there making these biscuits. I got 6 more things to put in them. I hope this nigga don't make me put 12 things in them. See, you young girl, when you pick the grits, you can't have nothing on your mind. You can't be wondering about your lottery number because you forget and eat some of them grits. Them is called death grits. And to your brothers, if one of these sisters ever get hold to them old grits and put it in your face, whatever you do, I don't care what kind of insurance, Blue Cross, whatever, I don't care what kind of good job you got, don't go to Mount Sinai or Cedars Lebanon. Them white boys do not know how to deal with hot grits. Oh, them hospitals, they can give you a triple bypass, reroute your booty hole, have you doo-dooing out your knees. But they don't know how to do it. Them white boys don't even know that when you wipe grits off, face come off with it. That's right. That's right. You ever get some hot grits thrown on you, brother? Get to a ghetto hospital. Oh, they don't have all them new machines. They might not be able to give you a triple butt bath, but they know how to deal with hot grits. You can't do nothing but just blow on them. And they know how to do it. Oh, yeah. They know how to do it. And them little thin lips white folk got, they don't blow right. You got to have cooling lips. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I leave you today and I say to you, say to you, thank you. I say to you today that you all are part of a great movement. But don't look at the ease at which this brother and his family and his friends handled this to make you think it's easy. See, we in the movement respect you so much, we don't share our pain with you. Oh, we read where they took your license away, but they didn't say, did you owe some bills, or was you planning on sending someone to college, or was you planning on making a trip? They never show the human side. Because this country is about revenge, not love. See, I can leave here and go downtown Manhattan and take me about 12 people and declare that we drug addicts, we need treatment. We don't want to steal and rob no more. And they'll tell us they got about a 16-month waiting list. We can't take you. So you mean if I go back out there and go by my house and steal my mom and them's television and beat up folks, 16 months, you have opening. Well, I'm going to say to my friends, I can't wait 16 months, but I know the system. And so the fact I can't wait 16 months, see, I got this migraine headache, but I found out the other day that it's a brain tumor. And I found out this cough I've had over here on the left side is pneumonia. So I can't wait 16 days, so I wish you, my drug addict friends, would do me a favor. You see that white lady over there? I'm going to go over there and hit her with a brick and snatch her purse. Now, y'all make like y'all don't know me. Just come over and hold me till the police gets there. They will arrest me. They will examine me. Within 24 hours, they will have operated on my brain tumor. They will deal with my pneumonia and deal with my addiction. There's something wrong with living in a country that's so built on hatred, can spend any amount of money they want as long as it's labeled under revenge. But for love, there ain't no room in this inn. And you see, maybe those politicians that's so bent on messing with welfare mothers. See, it's the woman's turn now. The poor woman, that's who we're going to attack. They call fathers who don't pay their money deadbeat dads, but a mother they would call you unfit mother, but they don't use that term for fathers. You never heard them say unfit father, called deadbeat dads. But somewhere, what you're reading in the New York Times today and the Washington Post, and the Daily News, Newsday, it's the same thing that they wrote 2,000 years ago. Same politicians talking about this pregnant woman that's not married, having this baby with this trifling man that's a carpenter but ain't working. Yeah, talking about Mary and Joseph. And same politicians now is talking about Mary and Joseph. But they need to go study history. We know about Mary and Joseph, but the politicians, we don't even know who they were. And why did Mary need a room in the inn? You don't need a hotel room where you live. She didn't live in Bethlehem. The politicians say you Jews will come in and register for the census. I don't care how pregnant you are. And the closest registration to where you live is in Bethlehem, so you better be in here. That's why she was there. Because some ungodly, unspiritual, heathen politicians. And so I leave you today and I say to you that what you all do here in New York send ripples all over the world. If the Rockefeller Center go bankrupt, then financial people start meeting all over the world. When this brother and the followers march down the street and say to the mightiest city in the world, I have no control over you killing us, but you're not going to do it quietly. The whole world is going to know about it. The whole world. And when y'all march down the street in New York, it goes out all over the world. And tourists get scared to come here. And so every time you murder me, it's going to affect your economy. And so I leave you today and I say to you that concentrate on this little 17-year-old doctor. And send love and kind feelings to the parents. That's a hell of a thing. 17 years old. But then also understand that there was a God that put us here that gave each one of us the miracle prescription. The miracle prescription that will heal anything wrong with you. Cancer, sugar diabetes, whatever's wrong with you, it will heal it. Called forgiveness. That's the miracle drug. Don't cost a quarter. The miracle drug. Start with forgiving yourself. See, I didn't know that. I had corns on my feet. I'm wearing shoes that cost me $3,700. So you know when you pay that money for shoes, you ain't going to get no tight ones. But up until then, I thought corns come from wearing tight shoes. I ain't paying no big money for no tight shoes. And I still got corns. And so while I'm fasting and praying and meditating, it comes to me there's something hard down inside my body that's trying to get out. That's where corns come from. If the three of us is in a car and the car flip over and I end up in a coma and y'all don't, it's because I'm trying to escape something inside of me so that thing puts me to sleep. Your sugar diabetes and high blood pressure and all of that is not coming from what you think it's coming from. It's coming from conditions of hatred, conditions of fear. You can be worried about debt and create some monsters inside of you. One day sit by yourself and draw a picture of a house, then draw a picture of a dog, then draw a picture of a bicycle, then draw a picture of anger, and you can't. Because anger has no color, no shape, no form, no God, no mother, father. Anger is nothing that them latched hold of something. And as long as you let anger occupy this thing that God made, God didn't make anger. This is manipulated by a bunch of evil old men. And the reason you should know you shouldn't be angry is because you don't have to go to college to be angry. You don't need no money in the bank to be angry. All of the normal things you have to do, you don't have to do that for anger. So you should sit and say, now, somebody tricking me. I don't have to qualify for it. I don't have to take no test. Don't nobody come and make sure my anger bill is paid. So anger, get out my body. And you can just wipe it out today. And as it leaves, your sicknesses leave. Drink 8 glasses of clean water every day. You ain't got much time now. That OJ trial, that's just a symbol of something. Here's a boy accused of killing 2 whites, and they let him wear brand new suits to court every day. In my America, OJ, just ask some simple questions. You don't need to ask many questions about OJ. It's the day of the chase on the highway. Didn't nobody know it was going to be a chase? Where'd those 800 signs come from on the highway say, go, juice, go? Or did somebody know? Is this a master plot? I mean, I know a whole lot of white folks. I know none of them carry blank pieces of cardboard in the back of their car to make signs. The glove with blood on it that was still wet 8 hours later You cut yourself now, by the time you get home, it's dry. Why was that blood still wet? It was in a plastic bag. And the marshal kept it wet. What's this game about? Why everybody want to say the cops framed him, but they don't want to say the cops did the killing? If I frame him on a murder, that's just right next door from I did the killing. And what makes you think cops is above killing somebody? We know in New York. What's this game about? And this dream team, who are they? I tell you who they are. Robert Shapiro. Mark Lane and I did a book called Codename Zorro. People called us that had information on the Kennedy King assassination. One day Freddie Prinze called me and said, I got some hot stuff, man, on the Kennedy assassination. I got to get to you. And I'm trying to tell him my phone is tapped and and he just didn't hear what I was saying. And so I said, okay, I'll get back to you tomorrow. He died that night. Called it suicide. We know that was a CIA hit. John Belushi got in touch with Mark Lane. Said, I got some stuff on the Kennedy assassination you and Dick got to see. Mark called me. I couldn't make my schedule. Said, Mark, you go meet with him. They were supposed to meet in Detroit, but he was murdered the night before. That white girl from Canada gave him an overshot of drugs. Remember that? We know that was a CIA hit. Who was that white girl's lawyer? Robert Shapiro. Hello. This whole thing you looking out there is a CIA game, and I'm sitting here looking at black folks manipulate. Did he do it? Did he not do it? Did he do it? Did he not do it? What's this game about? Marcia Clark, first husband, was Gabby Howick's, Israeli intelligence, Israeli Air Force. And see, I ain't got no Jewish thing. See, you ain't gonna manipulate me into a Jew. If all the Jews left this planet today, niggas' life ain't gonna change in America. Hear me good now. Hear me good. If every Jew on this planet disappeared, your life will be the same tomorrow. You still ain't gonna get a bank loan. You still gonna be oppressed. So what's this game? A whole lot of white folks and isolated and say, that's the white people y'all should dislike. What's this game about? Well, look what they're doing with Israel. Well, we should learn something from Jews. When you black folks in America decide we're going to do the same thing for Africa, hey! Amen, go right there. That the Jews did for Israel, amen, go right there. No, you're right. Why y'all mad? They ain't stealing the money. They taking political pressure, which you have a lot of, and said, if you don't do this, we're going to do this. And everything people complaining about that Israeli lobby is legal. It's legal. So all we need to do is say, my Jewish brother and sister, thank you. This is the blueprint. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to take care of Africa, we're going to close it down. We have that power. All right. And so I say to you, when I look at that whole Marcia Clark married to Gabby Howick, he was a little lightweight hustler, backgammon, cheat. She eventually get a divorce from him and marry a guy by the name of Gordon Clark. He comes out the Church of Scientology. Married by a high priest in the Church of Scientology named Bruce Roman. For some unknown reason, of which I don't know, Bruce Roman ends up shooting her first husband in the head. And as we sit here now, he lays in L.A. a vegetable. And Bruce Roman's lawyer is Robert Shapiro. Tell me about conflict of interest. So what's this game y'all letting a bunch of heathen white folks run down on y'all and y'all lapping it up like a dog lap up water? And then sit and get pro and con. Who is this OJ thing we looking at that every time I see him he writing but the lawyers ain't writing? He the only one sitting there with a notepad. He write from time. And I know OJ. OJ can't read or write. Now when you get through laughing, think about that. Because most athletes can't read or write. And if you don't believe it, see, not only is he dumb, he's dyslexic. His stuff changed around. Nelson Rockefeller couldn't read or write because he had that same disease. And if you listen to Nelson Rockefeller's speeches and listen to OJ, both of them sound alike. Because there's that little tremble in there when you're dyslexic. And the reason you know he was a brilliant athlete, he went to USC, a 4-year college. He set all them records that still stand in 2 years because the boy was too dumb to go from high school to college. They had to bootleg him into a junior college for 2 years, thanks to Willie Mays. And then they slipped him through the back door. So when I turn on TV and see this thing sitting there writing, who is it? Oh, is he copying? You can copy good. And then when he gets through, he give it to Shapiro. Did Shapiro tell him to write? Nigga, you write 10,000 times, I'll never have sex with a white woman again. So, let me ask you to do me a favor. Pray for this brother and his family. Because when he moves in New York, the word go out. See, we can have a demonstration in Gooseneck, Tennessee, and people in Tennessee don't know it. But every time y'all move here, phone calls go out. Because they say if this movement ever sweeps across the country, because we can't box him in, he's too full of love. We can't make him mad. And he's surrounded, though you never get your name in the paper, by some powerful brothers and sisters